There's musical comedy tomorrow morning on BBC Two. Just takes two roommates and a spot of creative flair to make a lot of trouble.
Good evening. The headlines and what's ahead on the ITV Nightly News. Pakistan is in crisis tonight following a military coup. A few hours ago, Pakistani television announced that Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and his entire government had been dismissed. It's thought Mr. Sharif is now under arrest in the Pakistani capital, Islamabad. The coup happened just hours after he sacked the country's army chief. We'll have the latest. The new Northern Ireland Secretary, Peter Mandelson, met the main parties there today and told them there was no alternative to the Good Friday Agreement. There are to be further talks on the future of the province in London tomorrow. The locomotive and several of the wrecked carriages from the Paddington rail disaster are tonight being driven by road to Crewe in Cheshire for further examination. Investigators from the Health and Safety Executive want to inspect them again for any information that could improve future safety. So join me for that and all the latest developments at 11.
Now, stories of ordinary people who became stars.
Ordinary people. They can have you on the edge of your seat.
I wanted it bad. I wanted that bad, you know.
Up the travelator. Oh, no!
You know, I went all out to win that. I wouldn't kid anyone and say I went on to have a good time as well.
Their lives can grip you.
Oh, for Christ's sake! What's the matter with you?
I got on the bus and I was amazed at the looks I've had.
If I am not married before my birthday in June, you can go and take a run and jump.
I mean, I just wanted the wedding on the television, let's be fair.
They can have you in stitches.
How much did that cost?
And they can even rattle our leaders.
That is not good enough, Mrs. Thatcher.
I am just...
Mrs. Good,
would you please
Mrs. Thatcher answer.
let me answer?
What's he doing?
We chart the history of ordinary people on television and find out what happened after their 15 minutes of fame.
Do you want me to taste again?
Yay! Hello, Mum!
There's no turning back, even while we sleep. We will find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on Mother Nature. Everybody wants to rule the world.
Fiona Wheeler!
Fiona Wheeler, mother of four, had propped up debts of £9,000. Drastic measures were called for.
Fiona, be calm!
So this was her moment of hope.
We had sort of large credit cards, bills. I think like most people in our situation, they get out of hand. We'd already done the sensible thing and chopped them up, but just sort of paying the bare minimum payments, they never seemed to go down.
Husband Matthew, an electrician, had to work 6 days a week just to make ends meet.
Oh, look. I had a car accident and my car was written off and I had sort of severe whiplash, and the end of the year was really, you know, crappy. Matthew had to have time off work to look after me, and Christmas was sort of pretty much a non-event because in Matthew's line of work, if he's not at work, he doesn't get paid.
So there was only one thing for it. Apply to a quiz show and try and win a fortune.
So I'm cooking pizza and chips and the phone went, and it was a researcher called Amanda. She said, "It's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire." Well, I couldn't speak, and she's saying, "Are you there?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Are you all right?" And I screamed, and she was going mad. She said, "Oh, we've got a screamer, we've got a screamer." And the kids started going mad then. And then I've got to sort of calm down because she's giving me... I'm going up to the show the next day.
In Peter Pan, which animal makes a meal of Captain Hook?
It's a crocodile.
£1,000. Is said to be crocodile?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes, I've watched it lots and lots of times.
You just won £1,000! Yes!
I was then thinking of my credit cards. And, God, if I could just answer one more question.
Fiona was soon up to £8,000. She knew that if she got the next question right, she could wipe out her debts at a stroke.
It's a good one, you got £8,000.
As I was answering the questions, I was thinking, right, well, that's that one paid, that's that one paid. So by the time I got to about 8,000, I'm thinking, yes, no more worries, no, you know, that's done.
You can take £8,000 now and go. If you go for it and get it right, you double your money to 16,000.
But if she got it wrong, she'd be back to £1,000 and those credit card bills.
Which Western character was played on screen by J. Silverheels?
When you're playing for £16,000, you're not going to go on a hunch. Well, I'm not.
Can I phone a friend?
You can phone a friend? Of course you can. Would you want to phone?
Dave Wheeler.
Who?
Dave.
So I said to my father-in-law, I'm going to put your name down. And he said, well, what do you want to put my name down for? I said, well, you and your telly and westerns.
C. Tonto.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Definite?
Yep.
Honest?
Yeah.
If he's right and you're right, it's worth £16,000. Do you want to play it?
Yeah, C. Tonto.
You just won £16,000.
Fiona was on a roll. The next question could win her £32,000.
So, you know, you're thinking, right, we'll get one more, right? And you're doubling it. Yeah, give us some. You know, I wanted it bad. I wanted that bad, you know. I was getting excited.
What's the everyday name for the trachea?
I'm going to play. I know it. I know it.
You play?
I'm playing. It's B, windpipe.
You sure? Final answer?
Yep.
You have just won!
To get to £32,000. A housewife with 4 kids from Canby. Yeah, if someone said that before I went on there, I would never have believed it. But I done it.
The family wiped out their debts, booked up 2 holidays and went on a massive spending spree for the kids.
It's helped the family, given us choices, but not to the degree where I'm a different person. It'd take a lot more than 32 grand to change me.
Ordinary people have always been the stars of the quiz show.
Good evening, friends, and welcome to Double Your Money.
Over 40 years ago, ITV brought us Double Your Money with Hughie Green. It was a huge hit.
Very, very nice. The quiz show has always capitalised on ordinary people who wish to compete. Double Your Money consisted of a whole range of amusing ordinary people.
All right, kids, well, here we come. The first question is for £1. Where is the Metropolitan Music Hall?
Metropolitan Music Hall used to be somewhere up in Queen Street.
Where?
Queen Street.
No, you're a little bit off the edge there. I mean, you're a bit off the edge on that one. I want you to be where? Be on your edge. Where? Say edge where? Edge.
Oh, yeah.
Edgeware Road, yes.
Clearly, rule number 1 for quiz show contestants is listen very carefully to the presenter.
This is a composer, German by birth, English by adoption. Best known for an oratorio published in 1741. It was called Messiah. You're bound to know his Handel. Who is it?
God, I used to have this at school.
Well, you were nearly there.
Handel's Water Music.
Well, so who's the composer?
Chopin.
Here's a question to determine who's going to spin the wheel first. The Old Lady of Threadneedle Street is a nickname of which financial... Yes, sir. At the Bank of England. It is absolutely right. The Bank of England. You're a chartered
Rule number
accountant.
2, understand how the game works.
See if you can get some points in your account. Have a spin. Wrong way! Remember like a clock. Remember a clock goes round that way. Another's going round that way. So you spin round that way. Carry on you go. Oh no, he's stuck. He's broken our spoke.
That's the end of the wheel.
It took all night to get the wheel properly fixed. But the most important rule is always keep your cool.
Mary, I think now that we have ourselves composed, we are ready to win this.
It's a calorie tracker. But the most successful quiz show was the one with no big money prizes or gadgets to play with. Mastermind ran for 25 years and regularly drew in an audience of 18 million.
The first half, which was the specialised rounds, was what I call the ooh-ah factor. Ooh-ah. Fancy knowing all that stuff about that stupid subject which I've never heard of.
Art teacher Arthur Wynne Hughes always scored top marks in quizzes. He decided to take the ultimate challenge.
Art teacher.
Starting now, in April 1874, in a derisive article in Charivari, which critic coined the term impressionist?
Vauxelles.
No, it was Leroy.
The lights went down and I just felt my confidence, my knowledge, my self-possession just draining away. And I sat there and thought, what on earth am I doing here?
Which keen supporter of Impressionism was the only painter to show his work in all 8 Impressionist exhibitions?
Sicily.
No, Pissarro. In what distressing circumstances did Monet paint a portrait of his wife Camille in 1879?
Pass.
It was terrible. It really was agonizing for everybody, especially because Arvor, who was the head of art at a school, had done so well in the rehearsals. Who posed for the figure of the man in Degas' painting called L'Absinthe?
Pass. I just want to get up and walk out the way these politicians do when they don't like the interviews, but I thought better not do that.
Arthur had started, so he had to finish. Time for general knowledge.
Which English League football club's home ground is called Ewood Park?
Burnley.
No, Blackburn Rovers.
I mean, I'm a great Manchester United supporter. I love football. And I couldn't even remember that it was Blackburn Rovers.
When I lost them, or they lost themselves, they would start beginning to look up, pass, 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 pass. And I'd be sitting in my chair off camera, gesticulating away, waving my arms at Arthur, saying, look at me, look at me, look at me, come back to me. Because if I could get him in my eyes again, I could have helped him. I'd have slowed down, help him to regroup his concentration and start again. But he didn't want to look at me. And at the end of that round, Arthur Wynne Hughes, your score has gone up to 12 points.
No, it was only when he said my score, I thought, dear God. Because the other contestants were getting that score in their specialised round alone. And I couldn't even do it with my 2 rounds.
Most contestants notch up at least 24 points. Arthur now held a title, Mastermind's lowest living scorer, and his shame was soon spread across the national papers. Being a teacher only made the humiliation worse. His pupils made his life hell from that day on.
In my first day back after the programme was shown, I'd walk along these corridors and there'd be somebody hiding in these little alcoves and they'd be humming the tune that I walked past. And I'd turn around to try and catch them, and of course I never could. They'd be away like shots. And then I'd arrive at my classroom and think, what have they got in store for me today? And I said, check before going in. And then I'd walk in and head for the front of the class and be prepared for a barrage of giggles and laughter and jokes and questions and pass written all over the blackboard and little bits of paper on my desk with pass written on it. It became a way of life.
Shortly afterwards, Ava decided to quit the classroom and take up cabbing. To this day, he denies it had anything to do with being dubbed Disaster Mind. But wherever he travels, those eerie sounds from the school corridors will always be there to haunt him.
I mean, I suppose at the time it really was awful, but you get over
it. Ordinary people have always starred on the quiz show, but when it came to news and current affairs, it was a very different story.
Good evening. For this edition of Panorama, we've taken the rather unusual step of devoting our whole programme to something which I think you'll agree is both the topic of the week and perhaps the question of the century.
Television journalists have been telling us what's important since the mid-50s, but they'd never dream of finding out what the person on the street had to say.
The viewers out there were told about themselves, not by each other or people like themselves, but by the three dreadful Ps. Presenters, like me, politicians, even worse, and pundits.
The Tonight Show was the first programme to bring us the Vox Pop, a way of taking the temperature of public opinion on all kinds of issues.
I've been wondering what kind of thing it is that other people here in the street have on their mind.
Well, it's just the butter situation. 5 shillings a pound. Why should it be?
What was groundbreaking about Vox Pops was the idea that you could take a camera out of the studio. Cameras were very, very big and unwieldy, and everything was supposed to happen there. So when you got the more lightweight cameras, you could actually put it on your shoulder and walk outside and so on. This was revolutionary. And of course, if you walked outside television studios, you found, oops, there are ordinary people there. And so you could ask them something.
Well, worried about my bird. When I'm up in Sheffield and birds down in London.
What sort of bird do you keep?
Oh, you know, my girlfriend.
Oh, your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. But why are you worried about her?
Oh, I don't know. Might be going out with someone else. You never know.
It was a simple idea that spawned a TV revolution. That's Life became the most talked about telly in Britain. Its star, 86-year-old Annie Misson.
Now, what do you say that is?
Well, that's brandy and that's whiskey.
No, that's whiskey and that's brandy.
That's whiskey and that's brandy.
No, that's whiskey and that's brandy.
Do you want me to taste again?
Whatever star quality is, Annie had it. There was an element of danger in her. She looked deeply respectable, and she was not. She had a wicked twinkle. She had a very naughty sense of humour.
Cheers, everybody!
Blimey, that's a big one. What do you say if I took that home, I wouldn't like to tell you.
And soon, Vox Pops were just a good excuse to find out the things you always wanted to know, but were too afraid to ask.
Do you feel more frisky in the summer?
Oh, I do, more Andy, yes.
Scientists say this weather is supposed to make you feel more frisky.
Nonsense.
Do you have any advice for people who are coming up to retirement age and a little bit worried about it?
Yes, get out and about, have a good old drink, enjoy yourself, throw your knickers in the air, do as you like.
Well, wouldn't you like to use something like that?
No.
Why not?
Because I feel womanised like that.
Just asking why people buy Christmas cards, what you look for in a Christmas card.
You're talking to the wrong people. I am Muslim and she's Jewish, so neither of us...
That's Life didn't just feature the lighter side of things. It also gave a voice to ordinary people on much more serious issues. 15 years ago, Debbie Hardwick desperately needed as many people as possible to hear her plea for help. Ben, her only child, was dying. He needed a liver transplant, but doctors told her there were no donors.
And I said, why aren't there any donors? And he said, well, it's to do with public opinion and the fact that there are no child donors. There are no transplants because there are no donors because there are no transplants, and just a vicious circle.
We had a phone call in our office from Debbie Hardwick, who lives in Chessington in Surrey. Her story is quite simple, but desperately urgent.
Every day sounds awful, but you do wonder if it's going to be your last day, especially if you sort of tell him off for anything and you put him to bed and you think, oh, God, you know, is he going to get up in the morning? Because you just don't know. He could literally die tomorrow. But, he has 9 drugs a day. And he's a very happy child. He's very, very happy. But the only chance for him is a transplant, and there's just no livers available.
She knew that this was her one chance to save her baby's life because her doctor had told her that she needed to change public opinion. At that time, there were hardly any transplants happening. People were frightened of them.
I think the whole key to it was that people sat and they looked at me and they looked at Ben, and I was so ordinary. I wasn't a celebrity. I wasn't a sick person. I was just a normal, healthy mum sat with a child that was dying, and the audience sat and they thought about the fact if they were in my shoes, that they would want a donor for their child. And they were able, in a rational frame of mind, to say, if anything happens to our children, we will be donors. The power of the television was just incredible.
Within 6 days of 16 million people watching That's Life, a donor was found for Ben.
He was doing very, very well. He lost the yellowness, his eyes, the whites of his eyes became white, and he was really doing very well.
But in 1985, Ben became ill again.
He'd had some rejection and some infection, and it was very apparent that he needed this second transplant, which we agreed to. We found a donor almost immediately, and he had the transplant, but his heart wasn't strong enough.
Perhaps you remember exactly a year ago, it was just before Easter, a little boy was carried into the studio here. Ben Hardwick had just come out of hospital after his liver transplant. He was very happy that day. Do you remember how he loved the silver balloon we gave him? Well, a year later, after another transplant operation, Ben has just died. We last saw Ben at Christmas, at the party the hospital gave all the children who'd had liver transplants.
Catch. Got it.
By going on to national TV, Debbie had managed to alter a nation's attitude to donating organs. Since Ben's death, over 1,000 children have had transplant surgery.
I think that Debbie knows how much good her little boy was able to do in his short life, how many lives he was able to save by his example. A charity was set up in his name called the Ben Hardwick Memorial Fund, still there. So telling Ben's story on television was not able to save him in the end, but it did save hundreds more children like him.
Debbie now lives in Spain and has 2 healthy children, Lauren, 5, and Luke, 10.
I did it for the love of Ben. I didn't do it, it doesn't sound very nice, but I didn't do it for the other children. But having said that, the fact that Ben died, his life wasn't wasted. I am pleased that, there are now parents that have healthy children instead of dead children. They have healthy children instead of sick children. And so much good has come from it.
In part 2, we meet the man humiliated in front of millions.
I thought, well, surely it can't be me. We got on really well.
The woman who nearly lost it all.
It was like everything was in slow motion and I couldn't hear anything.
And the couple with a flair for DIY.
He said, "You're the funniest people I've had on my show." And he did, he actually said that.
Hello, Mum!
She's 5'7" and weighs 10 stone, and she's a mother from Liverpool. Eunice Huthart decided to take television's toughest challenge. She was Gladiator's most ferocious and determined contestant ever. Once she fought her way through her heat, there was no stopping her. But nothing could have prepared her for the impact it would have on her life.
The only thing that's the same in my life is my family members. I'm still married to Mark, and we've got one daughter. That's the only thing that's the same, really.
Here comes Eunice! Oh,
Eunice used to work in McDonald's until her mother saw the show.
I watched it one week, and when I seen the end of it, the Eliminator, that was the one that convinced me, and I thought, well, our Eunice could beat anybody on that.
Eunice made it to the 1994 national finals.
3, 2, 1. Eunice is off and running. Lightning puts a block on her for a moment, but not for long. Straight past into Falcon.
Gauntlet was my game. That is like heavy contact with the gladiators, and I just loved that. And I always just wanted to go again. I mean, John Fashioner used to take the mick out of me because he used to say, like, my eyes would be dead wide and I'd be all wired up, and I was like, oh, let's go again on it.
Great strength and determination from this young lady, and Panther can't hold her up. She's through in 18 seconds. That's 10 points for the first event. Eunice, 18 seconds gives you 10 points. Well on, Eunice.
So far, she was holding her lead. All that stood between her and the prize of a brand new Jeep was the notorious Travelator.
The Jeep cost more than the house we lived in at the time. So I was thinking, yeah, I'll cash that in and that'll do as a deposit for our semi-detached. So, you know, I did the wrong thing. I had to spend before I'd even won it.
Clears that. Up the Travelator.
I'd never fell down it. I remember looking over her. It was like everything was in slow motion and I couldn't hear anything.
It's head to head.
I'd fell again and I was just laying there, and I think if she hadn't have fell down, I'd probably still be there now. I'd have been like, no, leave me here.
What a final! This is what you need to be champion of gladiators. Speed, strength and an awful lot of determination. Eunice Huttard from Liverpool, 1994 gladiator champion.
People had just jumped on him from behind and pulled him over. But it was just incredible. It was absolutely incredible.
You've just become our female champion of gladiators 1994. You have a 10-ton weight there to prove it. A check in here for £5,000. And tonight you'll be driving away one of those fabulous four-wheel drive off-the-road vehicles. Off she goes. Let's hear it for Eunice.
I remember Erika talking about the Jeep that I'd won, and I just went, oh yeah, the Jeep, and in my head I was going, oh, the Jeep, the Jeep, the Jeep. And I legged it and just did a big dive on the Jeep. You know, I went all out to win that. I wouldn't kid anyone and say I went on to have a good time as well. I went on to have a good time and have a good laugh doing it, but I went on to win it as well.
Within 48 hours of winning, the phone rang. It was a man from a film set.
And he goes, hello Eunice, I'm phoning from the 007 set in Watford. They were in Watford filming that. And he would like you to come for an audition as the stunt double for Famke. And I thought it was my mates, and I was like, give it one and all that. And I was like, I was swearing. And he must have been gobsmacked, must have been thinking, who the hell is this? Put the phone down, then we phoned again. And he said, no, honestly, we're filming from 00. And I was like going, oh, yeah, yes. And I was like saying, oh, yeah, Sean Connery is it, and doing the music. I was like just taking the mick out of him. And he was even laughing in the end. He couldn't believe it.
Eunice was hired as a stunt woman on GoldenEye.
Oh, you think you can hurt me?
This is actress Famke Janssen. But this is actually Eunice wearing a wig.
With Pierce, I had to like hug... Well, I had to squash Pierce with my legs, so... yeah, that was quite funny.
Eunice is now one of the world's most sought-after stunt women. She's already starred in many blockbusters like Titanic and The Avengers. And recently she's been swimming with heartthrob Leonardo DiCaprio in his new film, The Beach.
I mean, we was out filming The Beach in Thailand, and we was in the middle of the ocean. And they had this tourist boat that they were using in the shot, and all you heard is, that girl off Gladiators. I was in the middle of Thailand. I'm earning good money, and that's the end of it, really. I don't have to go to Sainsbury's at Christmas time now. I can go whenever I feel like, whereas I couldn't do that before. That's what I like about it. I like having the choice now.
But sometimes ordinary people can entertain us without even realising they're doing it.
Do you like it? Right. How many of you uses bleach?
Bleach, yeah.
We put bleach down the loo, don't we? Bleach down the... We all use bleach, right? You cut the container whatever size you want. Again, you must put sellotape because otherwise you'll be using all the plasters. You don't have to paint it. And if this is strong enough to hold bleach, it's strong enough to hold anything.
But Maureen...
Yes, Mother.
But Maureen, what are you going to use it for?
He said, you're the funniest people I've had on my show. And he actually said that.
Don't know why, though. We're not funny.
I mean, he was laughing, we was laughing. It's a really nice experience.
But it's a shame that everyone can't have an opportunity to go out and get that warm feeling.
How How much did that cost?
What do you mean, how much did that cost? Nothing!
Nothing. That's right.
Why do you think you were asked to go on to Michael Barrymore's show?
Well, other than being just ordinary, normal people, I can't really say.
What's she doing?
And sometimes people are at their most amusing when they don't even know they're being watched.
See you, Geezer.
Can you pull that up on?
Did you know about this?
Dave Smith went onto television looking for love.
Well, I was single at the time, so I go and have a bit of fun, and if you meet somebody, then you meet somebody, and sort of that with that, really. That was my only thought behind it.
OK, David, who's it going to be? 1, 2 or 3?
2!
And that was his first mistake.
She just sounded the most outgoing, did Charlotte. So I thought, right, I'll go with that one, because, you know, so I can get on with anybody and have a good bit of fun and laugh. So I thought, well, yeah, she seems the one.
Well, we're on our way to Nepal now, Charlotte. Waited and waited. Just never turned up. Looks like it's a blind date for one.
Dave had been stood up, and soon the whole country was talking about it.
Well, I have to say, David's the first person who's ever gone on a blind date alone. So where did it all go wrong?
With it being such a brief meeting, I thought, well, surely it can't be me. You know, I mean, we got on really well.
Dave went to Nepal alone. His date backed out at the last minute because she said she was scared of flying. But his humiliation didn't stop there. His local television station insisted on finding him a date.
All the way from Chesterfield, Jill. Nice to meet you.
It's...
Feel my arms around you. How long I have waited just to love you. Now that I've found you.
Well, I suppose that, as Scylla would say, you know, will you be seeing each other again? Will you be keeping in touch?
Yeah, we'll swap numbers and...
It was very, very good, and she were really nice. And I spoke a time or two since on the phone, but I mean, she's now got another boyfriend.
Can't you see that I'm lonely? Rescue me.
So there'll be a lot more dinners for one for Dave.
If you lose weight,
Coming up in part 3, at home with the family.
because she can help lose weight in her legs, and it won't look so ridiculous, will it? With fat legs, with chunky shoes, will it?
Oh, shut up! Don't want you going down this hill. Honestly. I'm on the break.
The queen of docusoap on life as a celebrity.
Can please? No.
And the housewife who rattled the Iron Lady.
That is not good enough, Mrs. Thatcher.
I am just...
Mrs. Good,
would you
let
please
Mrs. Thatcher answer.
let me answer?
I mean, even Robin Day wouldn't have dared say to Mrs. Thatcher, that's not good enough.
Hello, Bob.
Ordinary people just being themselves can make extraordinary television.
I could have been off!
Once we got in that car, that was us, what you've seen rowing.
and the slangy matches when they come. That was us, and people associate with that, especially women, because they have the same problem with their husbands. You're not having I'm not taking you out in the car. If I take you out in the car, get out and walk.
2 years ago, Maureen Rees became an overnight star. The docu-soap was born.
Whoa, 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 whoa! All right, you backed into that person's front door.
After the first one, I got on the bus and I was amazed at the looks I've had.
Don't go down the hill! Take your foot off!
I'm on the plate. No. Oh, for Christ's sake!
Pull it, stop!
Maureen used to spend her time cleaning toilets, but all that's changed. Now she's hired an agent to handle her busy schedule as a TV celebrity.
She's done more telly than most big stars, actually. She did the National Television Awards, which is where I met her, the Jack D Show, the Joe Pasquale Show,
David,
the Royal Variety Show, the Really Useful Show, BBC's Holiday, where she went off and drove a car in the south of France, on the other side of the road, which was quite fun. Children in Need, National Lottery, Jim...
Oh, if I'm not ready, I'm not ready.
And when she's not making guest appearances, she's busy attending TV award ceremonies.
World Cup 98.
Who cares?
But in a room full of TV executives, there's sometimes the small problem of finding someone to talk to.
Do you know anyone here?
No.
Not at the moment, no.
No, we don't. Honestly,
some of them have come up and said, do you remember me? You've got to say yes, because it's so long ago since you've done the programme. You look a fool if you didn't say yes. We just say yes and chat to them and that's it. Right.
Even with a glass of champagne in hand, functions can sometimes be a little tiresome.
I don't like these awards. Well, what do you come for then? I never let Dave down. Well, you will. It's you. Yeah, go on, walk off. I'm not going to walk off. You can off and do what you like.
Fortunately, Maureen's agent is on hand to calm things down.
It's not tomorrow, it's now.
You all right, kids?
Yeah, fine, Dave, thanks.
How's it going?
Okay. It's just this hanging round now.
Hey, this hanging around?
Yeah.
These supposed to calm down. Have they took the... Oh, you still might. I've got, in the office, it's like a comedy book.
That's it, yeah.
That we've actually been offered for you. And I was going to tell you about that next week.
Maureen's in demand, and today she's a guest on The Games Room on satellite channel Challenge TV.
Doorbell's ringing. Hopefully, if she's got here safely, it'll be Maureen.
Hi
Maureen,
there.
how are you, dear?
Okay,
right?
yeah, fine.
Nice to meet you. Very well. So you got here okay?
Well, I didn't drive that moment, no. Train.
Train?
Yeah.
1 minute, you know, she was cleaning toilets at the police station in Cardiff, and the next minute she's shaking hands with the Queen at the Royal Variety Show. I mean, you know, what a major difference that is, and how do you cope with that? In Maureen's case, she coped very well.
And like many a celeb before her, Maureen fancied becoming a pop star.
You silly sod, I could have been off then. I've been driving in my car.
Her unique version of the madness hit Driving in My Car got to number 50 in the charts, but dropped out after just 3 weeks.
From a bloke from Brazil. Once in a lifetime they get this chance of being on television, some people, and when we done the documentary it did change my life, but I've never altered.
Clearly the one thing that hasn't altered at all is Maureen's driving.
Stop.
Watching people just being themselves can give us some classic TV moments.
Brilliant. Oh, right. I'm glad you're not...
It may dominate TV schedules today, but watching people in their natural habitat is nothing new. We lived through the highs and lows of Mum Margaret, Dad Terry, daughter Marion and boyfriend Tom over 25 years ago.
No, you're not there. You dare stick your foot in there. They're only
5? You stick your foot in there, man. You've had it. They're a really small 5.
No, just slip the buckle them. You would look a fool in
You
them.
look silly in them.
I like them, but you couldn't walk in
If
them.
you
though.
lose weight, they'll be
Why
alright.
couldn't I? I can walk in these.
If you lose weight, they'll be alright.
If I could walk in these, I can
What's
walk
the
in
weight got
them.
to do with the shoes?
Because you can help lose weight in her legs, and it won't look so ridiculous, will it? With fat legs with chunky shoes, will it?
You know, people said to me, well, it was ever so good, you know, we thought it was good. We thought perhaps you should have been a bit more careful in what you said.
When sex does occur, it's always thank you. It's never just turn over and go to sleep.
You feel he's doing you some sort of a favour or something? I mean, does he...
No, Marion, I think...
You don't have to
take
turn
it
round.
for granted.
If you're going to do something, you've got to be honest and open about it and bare your soul, I suppose.
Shut up!
And what the nation wanted to know most was whether Margaret was going to persuade Tom to marry Marion.
What happens if you don't get
What do you don't go to do it?
I should give him till June. And you can listen. I'll give you till June. If I am not married before my birthday in June, you can go and take a run and jump.
I mean, I just wanted the wedding on the television, let's be fair. I mean, that's what I wanted, is royalty before me had done it. And I wanted my wedding, and that was really what the pressure was, really, was having the wedding on the television.
He was always going to marry her,
yeah,
wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
The pressure's on me. It's unbelievable. Even Wilson doesn't get this. You've got them up there saying, when are you going to get married? You're going to get married now? When are you going to get married? You're not going to get married when we're on holiday, are we?
Oh, Christ.
Marion did eventually get her way. Her wedding became the TV event of the year.
I loved all the attention, I'm sorry, I really did. And I just found that sort of, the wedding was unbelievable. The crowds of people that were there to watch, the police escort into the church, it was just, everything was all sort of, you know, all around me. And I loved it, I thought it was great. I'm on marriage number 4. Number 1 finished after about seven years. I think we were married, and we divorced. There was 2 sort of short marriages in between, 2 and 3 that really aren't worth speaking about. And number 4, we've been together about 8 years. We've been married nearly 6 years. We have recently separated, in actual fact.
Do you think there'll be a number 5?
No. I said that after number 3. I said, oh, that's it, I'm not doing it again. I don't really think so, in all fairness, this time.
Tom has never remarried.
Yeah, fat pig. Names, right?
Yes, but you stop calling names now.
Do you think the filming had any effect on members of the family?
At the time, I don't think so, but I think in later years it may have done. Not so much myself or Terry or the older children. I think Christopher was the one mainly, because he didn't really have a choice.
Now you stop being cheeky.
We decided for him, didn't we, of being 9-year-old. We had to, I mean, we couldn't leave him out. But of course, as he's got older and his friends know who he is, he did get a little bit angry, because he thought that we should all have been paid a lot more money than we were for putting our lives on the line like that.
I mean it. Now get on with it. I don't want to slap you, but if I do, you'll be in for trouble. And I'll wash you myself like a baby. Is that what you want? Well, get on with it then.
Airline brought us the everyday drama of life in the sky. Its star was cabin steward BJ.
You just saw me attack my mother for 600 fags and I can't spot one. Why?
Listen, I take your point, but they sell condoms in boobs. Need I say more? I mean, surely you know when you've lost a brace or you've got a brace and I mean, I had a brace when I was a kid. Oh. There was this lady who was offered a drink, and she said, oh yes, I'll have a G&T. That's a gin and tonic to you, dear. And this stewardess, quick as a flash, just said, would you like ice and a slice? That's frozen water and a piece of fruit to you.
Initially,
I was really recognised a lot on board the aircraft, and that got a bit much sometimes.
I'm sure it works for you because you want to sell your beastly drinks. Well, but if you serve tea, you should be serving tea.
Did you know it's illegal to be drunk on board an aircraft?
Really? We're not too drunk.
No, I didn't say you were, but I'm just saying...
want to relax us.
Yeah,
flight,
sure.
Like.
They might not be drunk, and I wouldn't say they were, but I think they're heading for it.
I was on a pistol for last night and didn't get up, so we had to get a different flight.
And here goes. What's the bit I cut myself?
Sometimes the pressure of being recognised can get a little wearing, so there's only one thing for it, a change of identity.
Yeah. Glasses off, tash off. See, it's not me really, is it?
But put an ordinary person face to face with a politician, and who knows what could happen.
Why don't you answer the question that's asked you? Why has the guy walked into somebody else's country, changed the name of it, and then decided that he's waterproof, fireproof and anything proof? If he's wrong, he's bloody wrong, and that's all there is to it.
That's your point of view.
Yeah, that's my point of view. It's made them change the names of their
All right, and there's a lady at the back there with your hand up.
Please sit down. This is how you demonstrate. This is how you Wonderful. We'll be back in a minute when we've cleared Play School up.
I'm in favour of proportional representation. I want to know where you personally stand on the subject.
Yes. Well, I'd be delighted to be able to tell you at this juncture, or I'd be delighted to. But what I did, as you may know, Mr.
Yes or no, isn't it?
Yeah,
whether
sure.
you agree with it or you don't agree with it.
Well, fine. No, it isn't quite as simple as that, not sitting where I sit.
Diana Gould, a housewife from Cirencester, had something important to say. She felt passionately about the sinking of the Belgrano during the Falklands War in 1982. She decided to write to Nationwide to have some questions put to the Prime Minister on her behalf.
A couple of days later I had a phone call, and I was asked would I go on the programme and put my question to Mrs Thatcher. Well, I really was, that term dumbfounded. I just stood there looking at the phone and thinking, what on earth has happened?
Well, the plus side of a member of the public asking the question, particularly if they do their homework, is that the politicians can't be rude and have got to answer. And also, in the end, you can't tell an ordinary person that they're wrong if it's just their point of view.
Yes. Let's go to Mrs Diana Gould in our Bristol studio. Mrs Gould, your question, please.
Mrs Thatcher, why, when the Belgrano, the Argentinian battleship, was outside the exclusion zone and actually sailing away from the Falklands, why did you give the orders to sink it?
But it was not sailing away from the Falklands. It was in an area which was a danger to our ships.
I literally could not believe my ears when she contradicted me straight away and said it was not sailing away from the Falklands. I'm sorry, but I cannot see how you can say it was not sailing away from the Falklands.
When it was sunk.
When it was sunk.
It was a danger to our ships.
No, but you have just said at the beginning of your answer that it was not sailing away from the Falklands, and I am asking you to correct that statement.
But it's within an area outside the exclusion zone.
Mrs Thatcher made a mistake, and Diana Gould asked to follow up and told Mr Thatcher off. It was electric. I was leaning forward. I was thrilled. I thought this was democracy in action.
Nobody with any imagination can put it sailing other than away from the Falklands.
I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
Mrs Gould.
Mrs Gould. When the orders were given to sink it, and when it was sunk, it was in an area which was a danger to our ships.
I suppose I got wound up and couldn't run down, until afterwards.
You accept that, do you?
No, I don't.
I'm sorry, it was. One day, all of the facts in about 30 years' time will be published.
That is not good enough, Mrs Thatcher.
I am just...
Mrs Gould,
would you
let
please
Mrs Thatcher answer.
let me answer?
You've put a fair point.
Would you please let me answer?
Mrs Thatcher was obviously flustered. Even Robin Day wouldn't have dared say to Mrs Thatcher, that's not good enough. I mean, a member of the public can, a voter can, particularly at the time of the elections, but, you know, a professional interviewer can't.
I think it could only be in Britain that a Prime Minister was accused of sinking an enemy ship that was a danger to our Navy, when my main motive was to protect the boys in our Navy.
When we got downstairs to the hospitality suite, there was Dennis and her daughter, and faces like thunder. And Dennis didn't even have a drink, which was rather a surprise, and they left immediately. And he said, you know, as he was going, it was typical of the BBC, you know, collection of long-haired trots and woofters. And his daughter thought it was incredible that anybody could treat a Prime Minister that way.
So, whether we've delighted in their successes...
You have just won!
Marvelled at their performances...
What's he doing?
Or cringed at their embarrassment, ordinary people will continue to be the biggest stars on our screens.
Now Argentina is back in race and we are very proud.
The President presented David Coulthard with the Carlos Menem Jr. Trophy in honour of his pole position, Coulthard's first in Formula One. The Scot had dominated qualifying ahead of Hill and Schumacher, with Irvine 4th, Hakkinen 5th, Alesi 6th and Salo up in 7th.
At the lights, Coulthard made a flyer of a start ahead of Hill and Schumacher, but it was nothing on Frentzen, up to 5th from 9th with Hakkinen just in front and Irvine right behind. Then chaos. Who touched who first was not important, but Alesi, Salo, Bedoes, Minardi, Herbert, Parnis, Martini and Barrichello were all eliminated in one fell swoop. No question, red flag, and the race was stopped. Only Luca Bedoe would not make the restart. The rest either in spare or repaired cars, ready for another go. Again, Coulthard was first away, this time from Schumacher, then Hill, as Hakkinen found the rear of his car savaged by the nose of Irvine's Jordan. The McLaren driver spinning into instant retirement while the Jordan headed for the pits. At the front, Coulthard was sprinting away from Schumacher at Hill, with Salo, Alesi and Frentzen a long way back from the leading trio. All eyes were now on the Hill-Schumacher battle as the champions struggled to hold one Williams at bay whilst keeping in touch with the other ahead. Then on lap 6, fate played its hand. Coulthard slowed dramatically. In an instant, he was demoted to 3rd. An electrical gearbox problem, the culprit. A lap later, and Irvine was out for good this time, the Peugeot dumping its oil. With Hill still climbing all over Schumacher's tail, Coulthard quickly eliminated the gap to 3rd. Lap 9 and Blundell's McLaren was in trouble. Running in 8th place, the Mercedes split an oil cooler and the V10 expired there and then. Lap 11, Hill dummied Schumacher into the first corner and was through into the lead. The extent to which Schumacher had been holding him up was immediately noticeable. Now Coulthard needed to find a way past the German. At the start of lap 16, Coulthard took the bull by the horns, passing Schumacher the hard way after the Benetton driver had tried to box him in behind Martinez Minardi. For the Williams team, eagerly awaiting the checkered flag, and Damon crossing the line, this would be the first win for their 1995 account. It was emphatic, and it looked as if arch-rivals Benetton was some way off the winning pace. Benetton team suffered a near disaster in an otherwise copybook performance when Johnny Herbert, lying third, made his second and final stop. Incredibly, no one was hurt. Even the jack was undamaged when retrieved from the end of the pit lane. With 20 laps remaining and with more than a half a minute cushion to Hill in second, Coulthard, Berger and the rest of the field, Schumacher made his second pit stop. But last-minute drama. Herbert had snatched second place after passing Hill less than a lap from home. A very frustrated Hill crawled over the line in fourth place. Faulty gearbox hydraulics having caused a spin.
So, Schumacher's back. Johnny Herbert scored his best ever finish, and it's 2 wins apiece for Schumacher and Hill. In sunshine, the tiny principality was hosting its 53rd Grand Prix. Hill had taken pole ahead of Schumacher and an impressive Coulthard.
Hill got the start he needed, beating Schumacher off the line, but further back, chaos threatened. Alesi was squeezed towards the barrier by Coulthard. The two collided, causing mayhem. Berger was instantly eliminated too. Both Ferraris out at the first corner. In the ensuing traffic jam, Barrichello managed to maul teammate Irvine's front wings. It was disbelief at Ferrari. This was the view that Hill had in his mirrors. With only the two leaders away cleanly, there was little option other than to stop the race. Ferrari had their work cut out, both drivers needing spare cars, a Williams for Coulthard and numerous repairs and replacement parts at Jordan.
Montreal for round 6 and the Gilles Villeneuve circuit. Birthday boy Alesi was hoping to do the honours for Ferrari from 5th on the grid. In front were Berger, Coulthard, Hill, and on pole, Schumacher.
Schumacher didn't make the greatest of starts, but held his position, as did the rest of the top 5, from Herbert, Hakkinen, Barrichello and Irvine in 9th. Into the hairpin for the first time, the leading group was safely through, but Hakkinen attempted an optimistic move on Herbert, and both cars were eliminated little more than half a lap into the race. 2 down, 22 left, but no need to halt things. Less than a lap later, Coulthard lost it on a wet patch under the bridge and skated off, leaving his third place to the battling Ferraris, who were lucky not to become entangled in the Scotsman's departure. Alesi managing to steal third place in the process. With Schumacher pulling out a gap over Hill, Alesi third, Berger fourth, and Barrichello and Irvine promoted to 5th and 6th, the race had begun to settle down halfway through lap 2. In qualifying, Schumacher had been nearly half a second quicker than Hill, and in the race, the margin was proving equal, if not greater. Indeed, Hill was under increasing pressure from the 2 Ferraris behind. By lap 16, back markers were coming into play, and on the approach to the hairpin, Alesi made his move. It looked easy. David Brown was not impressed. By lap 20, Schumacher had a lead of some 11.5 seconds. Alesi was second, and Hill was coming under increasing pressure from 4th-placed Berger. On lap 26, Berger saw his chance and squeezed through in an audacious move that saw him take 3rd place at the most improbable passing place on the whole circuit. Lap 34, and Alesi was in for his one and only stop. Hill had chosen the same lap. And so had Jordan for Barrichello. Alesi would rejoin in third. Hill fourth and Barrichello fifth. Berger was due in on lap 35, but the Ferrari, which had briefly moved to second place, was coasting. Number 28 had run out of fuel, and the Austrian was lucky to have enough momentum to eventually make it back to the pits. He would drop down to 8th. Schumacher didn't come in until lap 38, had no such problems and rejoined with his comfortable lead intact. The Jordan team were enjoying their first decent Grand Prix of 95. At more than half distance, Barrichello and Irvine were running strongly in 4th and 5th places respectively. But it was a bad day for McLaren, with Blundell out on lap 48. Hill's woes were compounded 3 laps later. Another gearbox problem sidelining the Englishman and significantly hampering his championship aspirations. Not a happy man. With 12 laps to go, Brundle and Berger were battling hard for 6th when they happened across a touring Schumacher, instantly promoting their fight to 1 for 5th. The champion had slowed moments earlier with a very sick-sounding Renault V10. The Benetton crew had a new steering wheel at the ready, and the young German, having lost a minute and a half, was sent back on his way, now down in 7th. With 11 laps remaining, Ferrari number 27 had taken the lead. Jordans were running 2nd and 3rd, Harness 4th. The battle for 5th was still unresolved until... In an instant, Schumacher was elevated to 5th place, with Gianni Morbidelli's arrows up to 6th. With 2 laps to go, nothing else now mattered. Only a few miles separated Alesi from his first win in 91 starts. For the Canadian fans, for the Tifosi back home, for Jean Todt, for Ferrari, and most of all for Jean Alesi, the checkered flag couldn't come soon enough. Barrichello, Irvine and their Jordan Peugeot V10s made it to the finish too. Ferrari couldn't have cut it finer. Half a lap past the flag, number 27 spluttered to a halt, out of fuel.
There hadn't been a happier podium for a long time, and Alesi, celebrating his 31st birthday with his maiden victory, was now in the championship chase, only 5 points behind Hill and 12 behind Schumacher. For Damon Hill, Canada was a disaster, but luck cushioned the blow to his quest for the championship. A 10-point advantage was reduced to 2 when Schumacher's Benetton spluttered 12 laps from home, robbing him of almost certain victory. The move before the green.
At the green, Hill managed to get away first, but all eyes were looking further back to Alesi, making a stormer from 6th beneath the pit wall. Barrichello narrowly avoided a sluggish teammate and a fast-starting Brundle in one go. Into Copse, it was Hill from Alesi, Schumacher, Coulthard and Herbert. Alesi would hold up Schumacher and Briatore knew it. So at the end of lap 1, Hill was almost 2 seconds clear of the German and Alesi was in between. Coulthard still 4th, Herbert in 5th and Hakkinen 6th. Irvine's Jordan lasted but 2 laps with electrical problems. His Jordan teammate was lying in 7th, but the inevitable jump start penalty would drop him down the order. Not content to relinquish his 2nd position, Alesi was giving Hill the opportunity to pull away at the rate of a second a lap. At 1/3 distance, the first round of pit stops loomed. Coulthard, the first of the leading bunch to make his stop, dropping him to 8th. Having climbed from 11th to 7th, Martin Brundle had thrown his Ligier into the gravel. With the loss of Irvine earlier, the British contingent had shrunk by 1/3. Berger's pit stop woes were set to continue at Silverstone. Note the wheelman on the front left. Lap 20, Häkkönen's McLaren retired with electrical failure, and Berger's Ferrari, courtesy of the wheelman on the front left. Lap 22, Hill was in for an 11-second stop, losing the 18-second cushion to Schumacher in 2nd. Positions would be reversed, and Damon would rejoin 10 seconds behind. Further back, Alesi and Coulthard were fighting over 4th. Coulthard seemed quicker, but the Ferrari seemed very wide. Max Papis' debut lasted until lap 28. At exactly half distance, Schumacher made his one and only pit stop, handing the lead back to Hill. Damon was going for it, pushing hard to create the gap he would need for his 2nd stop. Now that it was clear, Schumacher had opted for only one. Alesi was first in for the 2nd stoppers, relinquishing 4th to Coulthard. Benetton were running different tactics for each of their cars. Herbert, like Hill and Alesi, on a 2-stop strategy. He'd been lying 3rd. The crucial stop was now imminent. It came on lap 41 and was a straight fight between Schumacher on the track and the Williams crew in the pit lane. Too late. With Hill having to stick to the pit lane speed limit, Schumacher outdragged him along the start-finish straight and into the lead. We would now be set for a battle royal. Similar fuel loads, but Hill with a tyre advantage, at least for half a dozen laps or so. Hill had to make that advantage count. In 4 laps, Hill was right on the German's gearbox. Lap 46 was the chosen moment. Through Bridge and into Priory, there was a whiff of a gap left open by Schumacher. It was all over. Hill was out, Schumacher was out, neither was happy. In an instant, we had a new race leader, Herbert, and in a repeat of the Schumacher-Hill battle for the lead, his Benetton was in front of a Williams, Coulthard's. But the Scot had incurred an earlier penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and he would have to come in. It didn't prevent him from attacking Herbert first, and passing. Finally, it was over at the end of lap 51. Coulthard was in and Herbert was clear in front. Alesi was thus promoted to 2nd, Coulthard resuming in 3rd. 3 laps to go, the top 3 settled. Blundel's McLaren and Barrichello's Jordan were locked in a battle for 4th. The Brazilian was climbing all over the tail of the McLaren when Blundell defended, Barrichello didn't react in time, and the Brazilian was very lucky not to be flipped as the out-of-control Jordan hit the gravel trap. Blundell was able to keep going, albeit with difficulty. At the front, Herbert was stroking it home, unable to believe his luck, but on course for a thoroughly deserved first victory and Benetton's 5th of the 1995 season. Even Schumacher managed a grin amidst the Benetton celebrations. Lacey wound up second, Coulthard third, Parnis nipped past Blundell for fourth, and the McLaren made it to the flag minus a left rear tyre for fifth. The final point was taken by the patient Heinz Harold Frentzen in the Sauber.
In the championship, Schumacher maintained his 11-point margin at the head of the table, but Lacey was now just 3 points shy of Hill, and Herbert had added 10 to his tally, moving him ahead of Coulthard. Memories of Adelaide 94 were at the top of most people's thoughts about the incident on lap 46 between Hill and Schumacher. Neither contender admitting fault, Hill claiming it to be a racing incident, and Schumacher placing all the blame at the Englishman's feet. A microphone in the mouth just added insult to injury. In 1988, Johnny was on the crest of a wave in Formula 3000 before this horrific crash at Brands Hatch looked certain to have ended a promising career. That Johnny returned to racing at all, let alone Formula 1, is quite remarkable. But Peter Collins of Benetton had faith in Herbert's ability to return, and Johnny, in some considerable discomfort, made his Benetton debut in Brazil, scoring a brilliant fourth-place finish. A fifth place at Phoenix followed, but by mid-season Johnny was forced out by Benetton, despite Collins' demands he should stay. A one-off appearance in Belgium for Tyrrell